Let me pull it. Well, yeah, well, that's the new one.
I mean, it looks almost the same.
That looks
Got a
fucking
stupid face on it now.
What? That is the stupidest fucking face. Yeah, but imagine going to the hospital saying, I cracked my head open driving in this stupid fucking thing.
This is fucking calamity!
Welcome back to Joyful Calamity, formerly known as the Achieving Failure Podcast. I am your host, Chris, and this week we have Joey back as we talk about roller racers from Whamo. You all remember it, but you don't remember the name. So, we also are going to talk about trying to ride in, remember those old red and yellow Fisher-Price cars? Yeah, we all know, we all did it. We're going to be talking about the absolute disasters that ensued from that. Be sure to check out new episodes of Achieving Failure, in which we will be bringing you new topics of nostalgic events and products from yesteryear. All up-and-coming episodes will be under the same YouTube page. However, for those streaming our audio, our shows will be separated, but you can find us on all major names, including Spotify. Before we start this episode, if you could just give us some love, and if you do appreciate the stuff that we're putting out, if you could kindly hit that like and subscribe button, and for our audio listeners, hit that follow button. And now, on to the show.
Racer Sit Skate. Your parents put it together easily. From Whamo.
After watching a commercial for Whamo, you would think a simple child's toy is just a matter of sit on the chair, put your feet in the handlebars, and just kind of use the handles to kind of wiggle yourself around.
Yeah, nothing about that looks dangerous.
Giving you forward momentum. Well,
what did you do?
We were not entertained by the fact of simple, flat, plain forward momentum was entertaining.
Oh yeah, I must say this does look kind of boring.
Living in New Jersey, we lived in the area of hills and mountains, more mountains than hills, and our particular driveway was more on a hill. So what we would like to do is, when we were kids, put the Whamo on top of our driveway and go straight down the driveway, which was a very sharp incline that went into the street. However, for safety's sake, the curb, and it wasn't, you know, you have like the curb, it's not so much a sidewalk, but actually a curb.
Mm-hmm.
The curb was not level with the driveway. It actually stuck up about 2 inches. So it was just a weird way of how they paved the driveway. It was all fucked up. So when you reach the bottom of the driveway, your Whamo would then slam into this 2-inch piece of sidewalk, throwing you just like a ragdoll into the fucking street. So as we progressed and as we got older and with more responsibility, like, hey, because I used to live on a cul-de-sac, we used to, like, okay, since you're older, you can live further from the house. We used to go to bigger and taller hills. Well, at that point, now we're riding bicycles. And
I think I see where this is going.
So, again, your Whamo has become bored with your flat, plain forward momentum. So, what we would do, because at the time, I mean, a smart person would tie a rope to the back of the bicycle. The kid would sit on the Whamo and hold a piece of rope. And not only would the kid go forward, but he would also go downhill, leaning towards, obviously, more forward momentum. So, but that was what smart people would do. We would tie the rope to the handlebars of the Whamo, so when you lost traction not only did you go ragdolling, but when your friend tried to stop, the fucking forward velocity of the Whamo would slingshot past him on the bike, which was tied to the back seat.
Take him out, too. So you have two fucking kids rolling around on the street.
So not only did you come home with 2 broken wrists and a couple concussions,
You sent your buddy to the hospital, too.
but you broke your friend's bike.
Oh, God. That's perfect.
So it's kind of leads me into the segment, kind of like the segment of, and this is a shorter story, but I have the picture for, do you remember the old Fisher-Price car? It was the red body with the yellow top.
Who doesn't?
So it was a very big icon of the early 90s. And my parents, thank God, never threw anything away. So we had this car. And I know distinctly, I was in the 4th grade. I don't even know what age that was. So I was in the 4th grade. And at that particular age, I was a lot bigger to sit inside the Fisher-Price car, because obviously you would sit in like a Flintstone car. You sit in a car, you put your feet through the bottom, you kind of pedal it, whatever. So I'm too big to fit in this car. So I'm sticking my legs out the side. I close the door and I'm holding on to kind of like that little A-frame on the front. And again, I'm at my parents' driveway. And I go, and since I'm holding on to the A-frame, my head is sticking kind of out the windshield. So here I go down the driveway. The front tires smack into the curb, and the entire car just goes boom, head over heels.
Oh yeah, because those things, they weren't hooked up to nothing. They were freewheeling.
Yeah, they were freewheeling, and I just went boom, smashed my head into the street. Meanwhile, my mom is on the phone talking to her friend, and she just hears screaming. And she goes, "What the hell is going on now?" And I come running in, crying hysterically. I said, "Mom, it finally happened. Yeah, I did what you told me. I cracked my head open, and oh boy." And we had to go to the hospital, and I had this big old lump on my forehead. And I remember the next day, because I was in 4th grade, I was showing off like the scar. I mean, it wasn't even so much a scar, but it was like a bruise, a cut, but I was showing it off to all the kids.
Tell them you got in a car accident. You wrecked your red car.
And it's just all the toys that people will never get to experience in today's age.
Dude, I don't know. I think they still make that car, and I'd be lying if I told you 9 out of 10 kids don't have a story about that stupid Fisher-Price car.
Well, let me pull it. Well, that's the new one.
I mean, it looks almost the same.
That looks
It's
fucking...
got a stupid face on it now.
What? That is the stupidest fucking face. Now, imagine going to the hospital saying...
Look at though. Now it's got crumple zones.
Yeah, but imagine going to the hospital saying, "I cracked my head open driving in this stupid fucking thing."
Dude, everybody's got a story with that car. I'm telling you. I've crashed a couple of those.